Good afternoon, everyone. Just going to give it 30 seconds or so to allow everyone to come through and join. Thanks for joining us today to talk about AI-driven conversational employee self-service. Keep an eye on those coming through. Hopefully everyone can hear us loud and clear. Any issues with audio or visual, please put a note into the chat. Okay, I think we're about ready. So hi everyone and welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to share how AI is transforming employee experience through smarter and faster self-service. I'm Brad Garland, Sales Director here at Applaud, and I'll be framing today's session alongside Ivan Harding, our CEO, who's going to be taking you through a live demo of Agentic AI in action. This is a short session, 30 minutes, designed to be interactive and practical. So feel free to drop questions in the chat as we go, and we'll save time to answer as many of these as possible before the end. So I just wanted to start by identifying the problem. Most HR teams want employees to self-serve, but the reality is that often they can't. They're faced with scattered knowledge, outdated portals, and confusing navigation. Ultimately, they don't know where to go. That's not just frustrating, but actually what it's doing is creating disparate data points across systems. So what happens next is that help desk tickets spike, and that means that HR teams and managers get buried in repetitive requests, and employees are feeling unsupported. And in 2025, your workforce expects the same digital experience that they get as consumers, where they get instant answers, have intuitive tools, personalized information they can access anywhere at any time. So when that doesn't happen, engagement drops, trust erodes, and your HR stack kind of becomes part of the problem rather than the solution. So it's not an ideal situation. And with that support demand rising, it's slowing everyone down and it's devaluing very highly skilled and qualified people. Your employees can't find answers to what they need. For HR teams and managers, strategic work often takes a back seat to basic support. And for the CHRO level, despite years of investment in best-in-class tools, often HR teams are still kind of functioning reactively. So it's hard to prove value when the team is stuck in firefighting mode. And now we believe it's time for a connected and intelligent approach, one that's built for what's coming next. And what is coming next is agentic AI. And of course, it's pretty much here now. We've all been in that situation, kind of frustrated by what we call old school chatbots we've used on everyday websites, things like tracking parcels or maybe like Amazon's customer service bot, where we're just getting funneled down a corridor of choices. So historically, efforts of putting chatbots into the workplace have been just like that, and that's why they've failed. Agentic AI is very different. Specifically, the specifics, sorry, are on screen now, but in essence, it's like having a conversation with someone that can actually do things for you rather than a multiple choice questionnaire like the old style chatbots. So breaking down what agentic AI can actually do for you, it can answer questions on HR policies, processes, general topics. It can access personal data like leave balances or benefits. It can also resolve support requests through interactive conversation, deflecting them from the HR teams in the first instance. And when it is absolutely needed, it can also escalate by raising tickets and routing them intelligently to the right teams as well. So removing more manual effort. And it does all of this in a very kind of natural and human-like way. So you really feel like you're speaking to a colleague rather than a bot. And I can attest firsthand, it's quite strange the relationship you can start to build up almost with these sort of AI assistants in the modern world. It's pretty critical to get the most out of agentic AI. I'd actually say it's an absolute must. that it has access to the full HR ecosystem. So your systems, your policies, your content, your services, everything connected in one place. That's exactly what our HRSD suite is built to do. It unifies everything HR so that AI can see the full picture. It can therefore respond with better accuracy and deliver the right support every single time for the employees based on what they're looking for. And critically, it's designed for today's workforce where it needs to work on any device across any channel and from any location. Now, this kind of transformation, it's not just theoretical, it's happening right now. We already have clients live using this type of technology, and we've seen clients saving thousands of hours and millions in HR service delivery costs. Now, this is critical in the current kind of market and economy. Hybrid work, global teams, and a lot of kind of rising expectations are putting more pressure than ever on HR. There's a big trend of kind of doing more with less research, less resource, and that is where AI is incredibly powerful. So, digital transformation, everyone's been kind of on this journey for a number of years now, but it's only really just beginning. And it really is a necessity for every organization. There's not going to be any businesses out there that aren't utilizing AI going forward from this point in one guise or another. And AI now is already mature enough to actually deliver on the promise of exceptional employee self-service. So we're going to move from theory to practice. Just wanted to set the scene a little. So Ivan's going to take you through a demonstration. Within this, you'll see how an employee interacts with AI to check leave balances, find policy information, get help with their benefits. We hope that you notice throughout this that how kind of smooth the transition is and the capabilities are. So over to you, Ivan.
Thank you, Brad. I'll just do a quick check that the screen is coming through. Is that okay? You can see Applaud in all its glory showing.
Yes, seeing that fine.
Good. Right. Well, thank you very much for joining the webinar. This is a good one today. I'm excited about this. I've got the demo responsibility today. Deodorant's all on, and hopefully it's behaved itself. Demoing AI is not for the faint-hearted. It's sometimes got a mind of its own, pardon the pun. But we've got some really interesting stuff to show you. I can see we've got a variety of existing customers, a few partners on the call. We've even got some people from Applaud watching me. So good. We've got some new stuff I don't think anyone has seen before, apart from a few select people within Applaud. So hopefully we can get you as excited as we are about some of the new capabilities. What I'm showing you up front is the what you see when you log into Applaud for the first time. So just to set the scene, I'm logged in here as a manager. I've got a team. And this is our portal that has data that's coming from different places from a customer's ecosystem. Now, it's important I set the scene here because what we've got here, we've got data imported around leave, around pay, around my team, around learning, around some benefits and cases. So this data is coming in all over the place. Now, what we have done with Agentic AI is we've layered AI across this data. So I'll show you a few simple examples to start with around just querying some policies. In fact, I'll get it firing off now. Traditional chatbots that most people are looking at now are all about getting information out of knowledge and policies, and that's what I've asked here. I've asked details of parental leave. So this is going into the knowledge base that we've got. It's pulling information about parental leave through, and it's giving me a summary of what's in that documentation. Imagine doing the same with AI layered on top of your HR information if you're brave enough to let AI loose on some of that HR data that you've got lying around the place. Now, let's go through a flow here. I've asked AI about parental leave. I haven't given it much information, but it's given me some information that's helpful. It's given me US information because it knows I'm a US manager at this point. So it's taken its best guess. It's given me information about the parental leave policy in the US. Well, actually, I'm a global manager. So I'm actually looking for information in the UK. So let's start off there. Actually, I needed information about direct. Good to see the demo system working. This will give me information about a UK policy, and this will go through standard Q&A about knowledge articles coming back from our system. What I'm going to cross over to now is our new AI assistant that has Agentic AI built in. So if you're an existing customer, this isn't with you yet. This is coming in the forthcoming release. It's actually coming in release 16, which is our summer release, but we're doing some experimentation now. So this is a sneak peek of what will be with you in a few months' time. So Agentic AI, like Brad is saying, is much more about conversational. It's getting HR data, is allowing you to do some simple transactions. So let me get going with the first question. What is my leave balance for 2025? Okay. It's amazing when you ask customers or prospects or partners on a call, throw a question at AI, and the one that everyone asks first of all is the leave balance. So let's get it out of the way first. So here I've asked for the leave balance of 2025. It's given me in a conversational way my leave balance is 25 days. My leave allowance is 25 days. I've taken 7 days of the year. I've got no carryover. Sorry, this is a UK policy here, and it's given me 18 days left. Where's it getting that from? It's getting it from the data that we've taken from an HR system, uploaded it into Applaud, and said, AI, you can go and answer questions on this data. Now, very much like ChatGPT works, if you use that a lot, it's kind of saying, it's trying to tempt you into a little bit more. Say, can I assist you with anything else? So I'm going to say, yes, I need to. Right, so in this particular setup, we've enabled AI to say, yes, you're allowed to book holiday or sick leave. Now, there's lots of other types of leave. There's maternity, there's paternity, there's jury duty, all those sorts of things. Those are kind of more margin cases, but we're looking to attack the 80% case, the most common types of leave there are, and we've set it up to say holiday or sick. Very asking you what the information you need. So I'm just going to say, I'm just off on vacation. So very conversational at the moment. It's like I'm talking to someone. It's not saying the start date is 29th of April and the end date is 29th of April and the duration is 1 day and the type of absence is vacation. That's what you do when you fill out a form. This is the sort of thing I'd say to someone if they were sitting next to me, keying in information into the system to book a holiday on my behalf. So useful, isn't it? I've just intentionally only taken 1 day holiday because that's quite common. So I haven't got the concept of start and end date. Even that's a bit alien for people booking a 1 day leave. What does that mean? They're the same thing. It's interpreted that correctly. It's said my current balance is 18 days. I've requested 1 day of leave, 29th, 17 days left, and it's going to send that for approval. I can see a few techies on the line, and you're immediately going to be thinking, how does that work? How does validation work? How do approvals work? What notifications can be fired off? Cover that another day. Essentially, this is calling the APIs and to create an absence on your backend HR system or time and attendance system in the back end. But there's a lot of technical stuff to go through if we need to at a particular time. But essentially, this is capturing information almost like a form and passing it on to the systems downstream. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, whilst sure what's going on my keyboard here. So that never usually happens. Whilst I am here, I need some specs for working my, oops, for goodness sake, my monitor looks like I need to invest in a new keyboard as well. I've done like for $300. And cover me. So one of the most common questions that lots of global customers get in particular is around benefits and compensation. So just being able to answer a question on benefits, looking at what I've elected to take, if I've got an elected health plan, if you feed that information to Applaud, we can answer questions on that. So in this particular case, it's told me I wanted to buy a pair of spectacles. It knows that means glasses. Got to the demo, they're not being kind to me, giving me my right click all the time. And it's told me that I can afford those glasses. It's told me the process to go and get reimbursement as well. So while I'm here, let me make sure that my bank details are correct. So what bank account details do you have? So very simple one is my bank details. They are not my real bank details in case you're trying to copy them. So it's saying, is that correct? Well, I'm going to say, no, I've just changed those. That's not right. Can you change that? Okay, so now it's telling me what I need to do to provide information to change my bank details. Let's go for that. So we say name, AJ, 56061, accounts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to pause here because I think this is a really, really nice place to just take a check. You can kind of get the gist of what we're doing here with AI, but AI has given us some terrific opportunities that we're ourselves only discovering as we go through and play with this. I've been doing this for 20 years, like designing screens to capture this information, and the amount of time we've spent on over the years on validating fields. You've got to have 8 numbers on 9, all that sort of stuff. You know, boring stuff to make sure the data goes in cleanly. AI it's really opening our eyes to a different way of capturing information and making sure that data is clean. There's 2 mistakes I've made intentionally here. First of all, is a simple one. I've given it 9 numbers on the account instead of 8. So in the UK, our bank account numbers are 8 digits in, not 9. So it's captured that straight away. The account number you provide is 9, which should be 8. So straight away, it's telling me you've probably made a mistake. None of those horrible red messages you get on normal forms when you're doing something like self-service. It's conversationally telling me you've given me something that's not quite right. Okay, great. This is really good though. I haven't told AI anything at all about name checking, and it's all automatically detected. Well, actually, your name has varied by 1 letter. Are you sure? You think about that. You think about if you're in an HRIS role, technical role, and you've been working on this sort of stuff for years, you just can't code that sort of thing. But AI is intelligently looking at the data, the changes, and it's already picking up something that might not be quite right and advising the user, actually just check what you've put in. I mean, that's incredible stuff. And we haven't coded it. AI is just clever enough to sort of start picking this sort of stuff up. So before this actually goes off and pushes something into the payroll system of choice, your data is already going to be cleansed by AI with very, very little work put up front to do some of that data validation. Let's get a bit cleverer. Remember, this person is the manager. So some of the very, very hard work we've put into Applaud is making HR aware. And I'm going to do a bit of chest beating here. Forgive me, but this is really, really hard to get AI to understand the concept of what we would call a supervisor hierarchy or a management chain or something like that. To understand what a team is and to put the right security on top so that manager can only get information about that team is super hard, really hard. And I challenge anyone that's on this call to go to some of our competitors, who I won't name, to get them to show you this, because I don't believe anyone will be able to. It's taken a lot of R&D to get there. Anyway, that's enough of my chest beating. But as a manager, Annalise has a team, very simple, who's in it. Let's go a bit further. How much do they get paid? All this information is flown into Applaud from our downstream systems like Workday, SuccessFactors, whatever. Anyone that's dealt and dabbled with infosec security teams and data privacy and all that sort of personal information is probably having cold sweats looking at this, because now we've said to AI, you can answer questions on salary information for people in the business. Okay, very private information. So obviously there's a lot of testing to do, and I imagine a lot of people on this call will think, God, we're nowhere near that, which is fine. You know, not many customers are. What's important though is you see what's coming. You know, this is where self-service is going to be in 5 years, in 10 years time at 100%. There's no stopping this train. No information security team is going to stop self-service going this way. This is how people will want to interact with HR systems in the future. The number of times I've gone to my HR director and said, can you just give me a list of salaries, please? You know, that person goes off, runs a report, sends it back. You know, I can ask that sort of question. Performance ratings. There's our performance ratings, scale 1 to 5. It's giving me a bit more information as well. Performance is linked to bonuses. So let's say what were bonus payments? Typing error for effect. Okay, little bonus payments coming through. Just for those simple data points, it's doing all sorts of manager interaction that's really, really useful for me as a manager. How much sickness has there been in my team? So I kind of know Milton's had a I don't know, some sort of operation, 13 days off, but something really interesting is coming through here. Adrienne in my team's had 5 days, and it's noticed that there's been a pattern there. Here's a little AI foible. It said there's 5 sickness days, it's only given me 3. Okay, it's not always perfect, but what it has spotted is that Adrienne has had 5 sicknesses all happening on a Friday, as well as just telling me the sickness history. It's picked out something that might be of interest to me as a manager. It's been instructed to do that. It's been instructed to look for patterns. So it's not kind of just for free, that sort of thing. But this, you know, writing reports to get this stuff out the traditional way, impossible. No one's really ever done this very well, in my experience anyway, in traditional reporting within HR. Almost there. How much sickness? Sorry, how much is this? If you're a hard-nosed HR person, you might sort of say, oh, well, that doesn't take into account the tax and cost of company and cost of office space, all that stuff. Fine, you can tell AI how to work that out. But the point is, through just some very basic data points, intersecting sickness and salaries, and it's giving you some information that could be quite useful for you as a manager. It could be very interesting for you as a head of department or an HR practitioner. So the opportunities that are coming out of AI being able to layer on top of HR data are just, you know, extraordinary. We'll be mining this for years to come. Last one, almost. There's my keyboard going again. So I'll get one more out. I'm worried about Adrienne. I've had a word about her Fridays off. Changed. I need some support HR. So sometimes you need to raise a request. You need to get support. Routine is normally to raise a ticket. So the good thing about AI is we can do that. We have a case management solution coming which this integrates to. So I've now said, look, I need a bit of help. It's already got the backgrounds about Adrienne. We've already gone through that. And it said, yeah, okay, I'll prepare a case description for HR. This is what I've put in there. Does this accurately represent the situation? Yes, I'm going to say fine. Yes, please submit the case. Almost there. Again, very much like the bank details and the absence, this can now submit a case into the case management system. It's giving me a reference number. It's triaged the case as well. It's giving me a nice summary through that conversation rather than a badly formed service request going to HR and the first response back is, what do you mean? Give me more data. It's already got that, passes it off to HR, raises a case, and then you can process it in the normal way. So that's Agentic AI. Think about the amount of stuff we did there in 15 minutes and how long it would take me to demo that on a traditional system or systems, going into Workday, looking at my leave balance, booking a leave and pressing save, going into ADP, look at my payslip, changing my bank details, going into my performance management system, seeing my performance ratings, going to manage dashboard, seeing my salaries, raising a help desk request in ServiceNow. Think how long that would have taken me on this demo to do the things I've done in one place on that AI flow. So this is 100% game changing. It's a cliche, but this is really going to change the way we all think about that employee interaction with our HR systems. So I'll just end up and say thanks. That's the end of the demo. hopefully, Brad, you won't be replaced by the AI sales that's going to happen in a minute. Anyway, so thank you very much. That's the end of the demo. Hopefully you're as excited about some of that stuff that's coming through as we are. As I said, it's new, being developed, should be ready in its beta form in the next release, which is coming in about 3 or 4 months. Probably prompted some questions, so I'll let you compare, Brad, and close out.
Yeah, thanks, Ivan. Great and really exciting stuff to see. Got a few questions in the chat. Question number one that I'm going to pull out is, how can you address the discussion we had with data privacy around this sort of data, personal like PII?
So information security is a big one. I know there's a lot of blocks with companies that have nervous information security teams. At its essence, there's not much difference between AI AI processing this data and you processing it through a traditional graphical user interface. There's a new term coming along, by the way, called QE. So GUI, graphical user interface. This is, you'll see terms called QE, CUI, called a conversational user interface. We've got the same layers of security, application security on here. So the roles-based security, things like managers not only be able to see information for their team. Those are sorts of, there's going to be new concepts that HRIS teams and information security teams are going to have to get their head around. It's not quite the same as traditional logins and roles and responsibilities. And then there's the concept of AI processing and having access to HR data and PIA data. That's where we get into the provider of choice, where their data centers are, how it's shared, is it used for learning? The answer to those is no. All this data isn't shared externally by the LLMs that we use. It doesn't go externally, and the AI models don't learn from it. So that data is kept completely private to the enterprise. We do use external AI engines to process this. So yeah, it's a new world. It's inevitable, and we have to go through the same sorts of processes to give people security that this is safe. But at its essence, it's not really a great step from, say, storing all your PII data in Workday in a US server somewhere. It's the same concept. You just got to be careful of, what are the third-party providers that we use and other providers use, because even some of the big vendors use third-party LLMs, and go through due diligence to make sure that that data isn't shared externally or learned from. I think one of the big things that the information security team, sorry if I'm going on, is how does, I don't know, OpenAI not take all of our salary data and somehow use it to understand what people in this industry earn, as an example, because it's competitive information that could be valuable to other companies. So that's the thing that people will be looking at. How is our data, although our data could be passed by AI, how's it shared? Does AI learn from it? We have technology to protect that, so it's safe. Sorry, went on a bit long.
No worries. We've probably got time for one more quick question. So we've got 2 minutes. What is the process for our existing customers to make use of some of this that we've shown today?
So I've got a beta system, so it's not available for customers for a few months. Release 16 is where this will be first released publicly. We can probably get customers hands on sort of July-ish, I think. Maybe I think in terms of going on to, is this from an existing customer, Brad? Sorry,
Yes, correct.
Okay. So in terms of hitting development systems that our customers use, will probably be around sort of July-ish, sometime like that. We might be able to let people get hands on our internal systems, but in terms of our existing clients, July for beta and testing, and full release August sometime.
Perfect. So we are bang on time. Thank you everyone for joining today. We'll share copies of the recording with everyone who attended afterwards. And if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with Ivan or myself at any time. And thanks again for joining the webinar. I hope you enjoyed. Exciting stuff to come.
Thanks.